Good afternoon. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Flavor of Crossville. I'm Gina Knight with Remax Finest. And today we're interviewing a couple who are fairly new to Crossville, Jeff and Felicia, and they own DaBell Farms here in Crossville. And Jeff, I was asking you where you came from.
All right, so I'm originally from northern Utah. Salt Lake City is where I was born, and I lived in northern Utah for a good portion of my life, and new to Tennessee.
And Felicia, are you from Tennessee or are you a transplant also?
I'm a transplant. My family's always lived here though.
Okay, so you have ties here. I wondered so I asked him what brought him to Tennessee, and he said it was his lovely bride. And interestingly enough, the first interview we did, that gentleman from Uptempo Coffee also is in Crossville from his lovely bride. So I said that we must have lovely ladies here in Tennessee. So where in Crossville are you guys at? Where's your farm located?
So we are located north of Interstate 40 up on Maynard Road, so 3 miles north of the Cracker Barrel.
Awesome. I know exactly where Maynard Road is. One of my friends who is an agent, she used to have a horse farm up there, so we have that in common. So tell me about your farm. Tell me what you guys do.
Do you want to field that, Felicia, or do you want me to do
it? We try to grow vegetables. And we've done pretty well so far. It's generally just the two of us, so we're trying to get processes and things in order so it runs more smoothly. And then so we have whatever is in season, and then we always have lettuce, so we're trying to specialize in lettuce and salad greens, spinach, and so we're growing those all year round. And we were able to do it last year. Other things we're going to try to grow this winter too by having heated high tunnels. And then we have, and people can come out to the farm because we have animals. So we do pasture raised animals. We've got meat birds, egg birds, turkeys, chickens for, chickens, and pasture raised pigs, which are mainly the Kune, and then we have a Kune and American Guinea Hog crossbreed, and then we've got some goats and rabbits, which we do. Yeah, pets and meat for the rabbits.
Okay. And so you're talking like microgreens. Is that what you're talking about when you talk about spinach? And
we do microgreens, but we just have regular spinach, regular lettuce, but we do microgreens as well.
So what is microgreens?
Microgreens are can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, I hear you.
Microgreens are a seedling plant that are grown about 7 to 10 days, and we harvest them at the sign of first true leaf. And it is the most nutritionally dense a plant can be in its entire life, regardless of, because it hasn't lived on the soil, it's not to fruition. So it's not a sprout. And a lot of people are familiar with sprouts. People add them to their sandwiches, salads, stuff like that. And they're not a mature plant. So I'll use radish as an example. We do a China rose radish microgreen. And it goes for about 7 or 8 days, depending on conditions, we do it in a climate control room, and it tastes exactly like radish, and it is a seedling radish plant. If you put this down, it would actually grow a radish, but it gets harvested when it's a seedling plant before it starts to mature, and because it has lived off the seed, it is the most nutritionally dense that you can have, and so it's a really unique way to add a lot of bright flavors and really high nutrition to your diet without adding a lot of bulk.
Awesome. So that's very exciting. I know when I moved here, I've been here 25 years. when I moved here, I really didn't know, like you hear about farmers and you think you know what farmers do, but I gained a lot of respect for farmers. I don't know how you guys, I just lost Jeff. I don't know how you guys survive because the equipment is so expensive.
Yeah.
And there's so much work involved. It really has to be a labor of love. So what made you guys decide this was what you wanted to do?
So I agree. It is very expensive and it is an immense amounts of work. A lot of days, like including today, you're up at 4 a.m. and you work till late. And it doesn't matter the weather, it doesn't matter anything. There's a lot of things you have to do. There's no vacations and there's no, so it's definitely something that we decided to do. And for us, it is a spiritual calling, and our kids are pretty much grown. Between the two of us, we have 10 children, and we only have one left, and he just graduated high school. So for us, we were more looking to thinking of more of a retirement lifestyle, but we felt called to come to Crossville and to grow food and to grow good food.
Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, that's it. And so for us, it really is a spiritual calling to come here and grow good food, to grow what we say, how we say, and you can know that it's grown well. There's not chemicals on it. There's not hormones and all sorts of things in our meat. Everything is done exactly how we say, which is one of the reasons we encourage people. They're welcome to come up to the farm and see that we actually do what we say we do. You can see how our animals are treated and what they eat, and see how we grow, and so it's definitely, it is very difficult, and here on the plateau is very different than growing anywhere grown. So it's
true. I mean, the soil here is phenomenal, but there are other issues. I mean, so you have to be very cognizant of the environment. So how did you get started in this?
So we just started doing it. I'm actually a nurse by trade, and so this is not something that I've done. And Jeff was driving truck when we decided to do this. So we just started doing it. We would go to other farms, see what we liked that they did, that they didn't, we didn't like. We would watch a lot of YouTube, which a lot of it is, some of it's good and some of it's misinformation. So you got to kind of sift through that, find people you can trust, people who are reliable, again, who do what they say they're going to do. That's actually kind of hard to find. So just getting into it and doing it and making mistakes and adjusting.
So is your background as a nurse kind of what drove you to this? I know today with our food, so much processed food, more people are being more cognizant of what they're putting in their bodies. And is this kind of what made you decide this was something that you guys wanted to go the path you wanted to follow?
I would definitely say that it is, because for multi reasons. One, food, because a lot of the food that we're eating, we see a lot of autoimmune diseases out there now, which is pretty much them saying, we don't really know what's going on with you. We're going to tell you, maybe take this out of your diet, take this out of your diet. But really, the food we're eating is making us sick. And not only the food, but then the medications and lifestyle. And so we just decided to come off of mainstream, not to just do what we've been doing, but to grow good food, to grow healthy food, to know exactly what it is going into these animals and into their food and what's not. But also, you know, we're learning about the land. We're learning about all the medicinal properties of herbs and plants and things that we call weeds and all the lost arts that we've lost. And trying to go back to what's been lost, trying to find that information, you know, for ourselves and for other people, and to be able to provide this stuff for ourselves and other people.
And that's a really good thing, because I just recently had a bout with poison oak or poison sumac or whatever. And someone said, you need to use jewelweed. I'd never heard of that. And so they went to a golf course in Fairfield and they got it and brought it back, and we put it on, and instantly the red and the itchy started fading. Well, then when I went home, I'm like, I never saw this stuff before. I went home and I've got it all over my driveway. And so I never knew. I mean, I've lived there for 24 years. So you're right. I mean, there's so many things that nobody shared this information. It's lost. You're right. So that's very exciting. So what are you guys passionate about in your business?
What was the question again? I'm sorry.
What are we passionate about in the business?
So the passion, I think, comes besides the spiritual calling. It's having the ability to truly make a difference, whether it's somebody's health, whether it's somebody's outlook on life. Just like Felicia said, the farm's open, and it's something where people can come and learn how to do what we do. We don't know everything, but we're not afraid to try. And if it doesn't work the way that we want it or need it to, we definitely will back up and try again. And so people can come learn. If people have information, we've had a lot of people come and, you know, help us learn a lot of stuff, you know, from other people as well. And then people who just find peace in putting their hands in the dirt, and whether it's weeding or planting, starting seeds, helping, you know, with all the different aspects, helping with the animals and things like that. I coined a term, and I'm sure it's not my own, but I like to call our farm a large-scale sustainability project. And it's something that works in and amongst itself. We do have to have some outside inputs, but as we continue to grow, we're working towards bringing less in and having more available on the property. Just for instance, everybody knows what Miracle-Gro is, and you know, it's a good product and they've done a good job, but some of it's synthetic chemicals, some of it is technically organic listed and stuff like that. But we're actually in the process of making our own Miracle-Gro soil and all of our own soil amendments and things like that, so that we can create our own ecosystem on the property to not need those external inputs. That way we know even further what is in what we're doing. And same with the animals as far as feed goes. The pigs are grass grazing pigs, and most of what they do is grazing, but they do get some protein supplement. And we have a large amount of egg laying chickens. So the excess eggs, if we don't sell them, actually go to help feed the pigs and stuff like that. So now I say that about chickens, but chickens technically aren't sustainable. They're not, as far as like the meat birds and stuff like that. And we raise them because we have a lot of people that want what we do. But that's another reason why we do rabbit, because rabbit's actually very sustainable. If you have two good does and a good buck, you can create or generate about 600 pounds of meat on average for your family. And that's good protein, and it's bioavailable, and you don't have to do anything other than have to have a patch of lawn, and that's it. And their waste is instant fertilizer for any food that you grow.
That's right. That's right. So you say the farm's always open. So what do you guys ever have events, or what are your regular hours where they could come out?
Well, we're working on streamlining the hours, and that's something that's been an ongoing topic. The busier that we get, and eventually we'll have that narrowed down as far as like visiting hours and stuff like that. Because if you go on Google or on our website, it basically says, come on out. And we love having people out, but it does present its own challenges as far as getting the work done that we need to do. And we are a new farm still. Sorry, I'm outside. So being that we're a new farm, there's a lot of infrastructure and things like that that we've been working on building, and we should have a good majority of it buttoned up by the end of this year to not only make it easier for Felicia and I to take care of the farm on our own, or as much on our own as we can, but also to free us up to spend more time with the public and showing people how we do what we do. So as far as events and scheduled things like that, next year we'll definitely have some very finite times and dates for different events, whether it be Halloween or 4th of July and things like that. We do sponsor a farmer's market right now that's in Fairfield Glade on Saturdays. It goes from 8 o'clock till 1 o'clock, or until everybody sells out, which is usually around noontime. And it's called the Fairfield Glade Fresh Market. It is a new market this year. We've had a lot of good response, and we have some really good vendors as a part of that, and we are currently looking for more vendors. But we want it focused on farm and not to have a swap meet or a bake sale or anything like that. And I'm not saying anything bad about, because we have some wonderful vendors there. We have some really amazing baked foods and some really unique crafts and stuff like that. But we're being very particular about what we bring in, because we want the focus to be on supporting local agriculture and local small business at the same time. So in doing this, the vision behind it wasn't necessarily for us to sell and make money. It was because we do have those outlets. We sell directly from the farm, and we have online ordering and things like that that are available as we get that put together. But this was to generate income, or not income, but generate an event that helps other businesses to grow, to help the local economy, to keep the dollars that are spent in our economy. And, you know, that's exactly what our focus is with the farm too, is to try to generate a local awareness for the farms and stuff. And there is so many farms that have gone out of business over the last 2 years. It's kind of terrifying, because people don't, I think people in Crossville do, but people from around the world, especially the larger the city, a lot of people don't realize where their food comes from. And that's why we want people to come to the farm, to be able to see. Yeah, absolutely.
When I lived in South Florida, Hurricane Andrew hit, and I learned that people, especially in the city, they think food really comes from a grocery store, and they don't know what a pantry is. And when something catastrophic comes in about 3 days, you have a lot of very desperate, dangerous people. So you're absolutely right. They need to know where their food comes from. And so if somebody comes to see you at Fairfield Glade, which is on the corner of Stonehenge and Peavine Road on Saturday mornings, what could they expect to find at your space?
So we, like Felicia said, in our space, we specialize in salad greens and microgreens and stuff like that, and then other seasonal vegetables. We also have whole fresh chicken that we raise on site. A lot of the stuff is reiterating on what Felicia had already talked about. Our honey is done for the year, because the bees need to have what they have to have for the winter. And then, because we do raise bees as well. And then we also sell eggs. Our excess eggs are for sale.
So that's very exciting. And that's why we decided that we needed to host something like this, because I have a lot of clients that come from out of state. They don't know what's available here. And some people who are looking at this area, this gives them an opportunity to look at the videos on YouTube and find out more about Crossville and what's out there. So you mentioned you're on Facebook. Where can somebody find you other than at the farmers market?
So we do other events like this Friday, as in tomorrow. They do Friday at the Crossroads, and that's a monthly event. It's the first Friday of every month, or every other month throughout the season.
One last question. So you guys, you said she's in Farragut. So it's your family that actually had ties directly here to Crossville, Felicia, or just Tennessee in general?
Just Tennessee.
So what brought you to Crossville?
Just kept thinking about Crossville, which was really weird. We really didn't know anything about it or hardly where it is. I mean, I'd definitely driven by it on the way to Nashville. And we just came here and checked it out and decided this is where we needed to be.
Well, that's awesome.
We really didn't have any ties here at all. We didn't know anybody. So
Nope. It was definitely, like we mentioned in the beginning, this whole journey, the farm and everything else, and even landing in Crossville was a spiritual journey. We had actually purchased a home in Utah, and that was our plan, was going to Utah, a small homestead, and we found the quote unquote dream home, and we're going to retire and play and travel and do all that stuff. And the Lord had other plans for us. We ended up in Crossville, and it has been an amazing journey. Not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. It's definitely has its ups and downs. But the people and this place are definitely in our hearts, and we cannot foresee moving anywhere else because of the community and the amazing people that we've met along the way.
So I can definitely identify with that, being here as many years as I have. And it has a rugged beauty. And, you know, that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So the challenges that the Lord gives us are definitely for our benefit. Doesn't always feel like it sometimes. Lord knows I've had quite a few, but in the end it does. And if you look back, you can generally see how you benefited from that, if you choose to. Some people don't always do that. So I'd like to thank you both for taking time out of your busy day. I know that you guys have a lot of work, especially this time of year. So I appreciate your patience with getting our tech together. And I look forward to meeting with you guys in person. And I really appreciate the opportunity to meet with you guys and learn about your farm and learn about you guys in general. And I hope you guys have a fabulous day as